Okay, so we are back with part 3 now of recreating this Mbira Google Doodle, of which we have falling ball. Okay, so that is the Google Doodle. We have now a sort of recreation of that where we have a blue ball that drops. When it gets to the line, it goes back. It goes to one of these 8 rectangles here. And then when I put the mouse in the square of the bar where the circle is falling, I get this thing that happens in my console here, okay? So now we're going to go ahead and add some sound to this. So in order to do that, I'm going to make a oscillator with an envelope. So these being the 2 variables I'm going to use to store those objects in. So first I'm going to make my envelope. So hopefully you've seen this in one of the other tutorials we've done. So n dot, I need to set the ADSR, that's attack, decay, sustain, release. So I'm going to do a very short attack, a short release, do that, and then maybe 1 for sustain, 0 point, that should be a decimal point there. Then I need to make my ask is new p5 dot oscillator. Okay, ask dot start, and then since this is a envelope, I need to do the amplet, and that is going to be the name of my envelope in there. Okay, so now I'm going to get rid of this console.log, and I'm going to do env.play. Right, so let's see. So it starts off in the middle there. So here we go. I do it in the right. There we go. Okay, so seemingly it works, but now you might notice what's happening here. All right, so this is something we need to fix. So if you notice, no matter which square my mouse was in, it still made the sound, and that is a problem, okay? So what the issue is that as long as I'm in between any of those squares, when the circle gets to the line, it's going to make that sound. But I need to set it so that only the bar that the circle is in is going to do that, okay? So I basically need to take this whole thing with mouse X and mouse Y, okay, and change all the mouse X's to, I said mouse X and mouse Y, I just meant mouse X, to CX here, okay? So this will make it a bit more specific to where, and I need to add just an and here, to which spot it's going to be in, okay? So not only is mouse X and mouse Y in between that space, but also the circle, which is CX. So that will be determined by CX as well. So hopefully this will fix that. Let's see. Okay, so this comes down. I'm going to move it. Okay, so now I'm not getting the sound unless the mouse is in the right place. Okay, now we're in a much better place. Okay, so I left that out the first time and had noticed it on a test run. So just to bring it to your attention. So this is basically saying if the mouse is in between the lines that make the rectangle, and the circle is in between the lines that make the rectangle, and the mouse is below the cutoff line, but before the edge of that. And actually what I think I'm going to do is just make that a little bit longer. So I'm going through, you don't have to do this if you don't want. This could sort of make it more challenging, but I'm just going to extend this spot a little more so I have a little more room to work with for that. Okay, so now what I need to do is I want a different note for each one. Okay, so I'm going to do let notes here, and I'm going to make an array. But I'm going to try and keep this a little bit more authentic. So I'm going to do the Mbira tuning. I'm just going to look that up because I don't really know what the tuning is here. Stonga tuning higher, left and right. Okay, so here we go. It tells me right here I can see this. So The Dongandas, it's saying some other. So the Western equivalent, so Mixolydian. So Western equivalent means that this is an African instrument, so they may not even follow the European or Western model of mixing. Okay, but it is Mixolydian is a scale that I am aware of. Okay, so I know that. I checked it out in Wikipedia here too. It kind of talks about it. As far as what the tuning is, I think we go here. It goes to tuning. So it talks a little bit about it, and it says this: the tunings use notes that do not lie in the grid of Western tempered scales. That meaning that like the tuning of some of these things may not be exactly the same as like a piano or the way we tune instruments in America. But it talks about this thing, the Mixolydian mode. So I could click here, and it gives me a rundown, or it should give me, if you don't know, of like whole steps and half steps. Somewhere in here, maybe not in this Wikipedia, but I know how to do a Wikipedia or the Mixolydian scale, so I'm going to do that. It says it starts at F. Okay, let me go back here. So I'm going to just do a quick F MIDI note just to remind myself what that might be. So yeah, here's a MIDI key chart. So here's F. And let's go with 53. Okay, so 53 will be the starting note of this. So 53, and then I know I plus 2, and then plus 2 more, and then plus 1, and then plus 2, and then plus 2, and then plus 1, and then plus 2. So these are the notes in an F Mixolydian scale, all right? So don't worry about how I came up with that, but that is what we are going to go with here, all right? So now the last thing I can add here is I need to set the frequency of my oscillator. So I'm going to do os.freq, and then I'm going to have to do the MIDI to freq, okay? And in here I'm going to do notes. Did I say note or no? Note, and then I for that. Okay, so what don't you like here? Oop, I think I'm missing one extra. So I have 2 parentheses here, and then I need a parenthesis here and here as well. Okay, so this will be saying whichever one I am in between, this I, okay, whichever one mouse X and mouse Y is in between, as well as the circle, that is going to be the same note that I get from this note array that I made. So now let's check it out. Okay, so I kind of start in the middle every time. All right, so now I have different pitches that play every time it happens here. All right, so I'm basically there. That is the meat of what I'm trying to do. I'm going to check back to this color code here. I'm going to do a sandy brown. I just want each fill to change slightly when it actually gets played. So I'm going to go in here. I'm going to do fill this, okay, but then I need to add an else because it's just going to change color. So now I'm going to take this fill from here. I'm going to put it here. I'm going to actually go to edit and just tidy up my code a little bit. And now let's see. So there we go. So I get a little flash of color when I do that sound. And if I miss, I get no sound and no color. All right, so that is it, okay? I think I'm just gonna do one more because I wanna add a little challenge. There's ways I could make, like, I could set it up to play a song. I could maybe make it so that more than one circle is coming down, but that's gonna take a lot. I think what I'm gonna just do is add a way that I can change the speed of the circles that come down, just so I can maybe make it a little easier, a little more challenging, depending on how I want to do it. So that'll be that last part of this tutorial.